we see that our query bot responds whenever we type in a keyword that we've specified, and it queries our database using that information and returns a result. Hey everyone, Derek here from WayScript. In this one, let's see how we can build that demonstration that we just saw. The idea is that we use Slack to query an SQL database and return a result. Let's get started. To build this, we'll use WayScript. So starting out, we'll go to wayscript.com. If you don't have an account, feel free to sign up. Then, once we sign up, we can click on Create a New Script, and I'll call mine SQL Query with Slack Example. In WayScript, whenever we want something to activate, we need to use a trigger. In this example, since we want the activation of our script to occur whenever a Slack message is posted, we can use a Slack trigger. We'll click on Add Trigger and type in Slack. We'll import and select it. Here we have a few settings that we can use to configure our Slack trigger. We can choose the workspace and also the channel. We'll leave mine as the default for now, and then let's return the Slack message text. This is where we'll pull the information on what to query from our SQL database. Let's only activate our script whenever that special character is found. So in the previous example, it was a question mark. To do this, we can use programming logic and pull in an if statement. We'll drag it under our trigger. In this case, to only activate our script whenever a question mark is in the message, let's say Slack message text. So this is the string that we pull in of whatever the user has posted in that Slack channel contains, and then we'll just put a question mark. This way, whenever someone posts a question mark in one of those Slack messages, we can put our action under the true side of our if tree. We can leave our else side empty, that way we do nothing whenever there isn't anything to react to. If we want to pull the string following a question mark, we can use regular expressions or the regex package to do this. We'll import it and drag it into the true side of our if tree. The string that we want to find this pattern in is the Slack message text, so we'll pull it in as the string variable. Next, we can write a custom regular expression right into this blank. We can do that and look for question marks like this. This should return the string pattern that we can use to query our database in the next step. We'll choose the captured groups. Let's test this out in Slack. So we'll turn on our trigger and let's go over to Slack. Here we'll type something like question mark example. When we go back to WayScript and click into the regular expression module, we see that we now have that text captured using this regular expression. Now we can pass this on to an SQL database so we can query it using this. We can do that by pulling in an SQL module. We'll drag it below our regular expression, and we can choose the database that we want to work with, and in our SQL, we can include that variable directly into our editor. For a quick example, let's just sum along the column that the user inputs using that Slack message. So we'll say something like select the sum. We can drag in this variable and place it here from, and then we choose our table. So mine is called survey. Right now, if we were to execute this code, then I shouldn't get back any information because I don't have an example column in my table. But if we go back to Slack and put in something like score, I do have a score column within that table, and we should be able to pull it out using this. We see that everything ran, and now let's run this code. When we run it, we see that we're summing along that score column, and we can import this. We'll use this as the value to pass back to Slack. Next, we can write this back to Slack using a Slack module. We'll type in Slack and drag it below SQL. Let's write back to the same channel, and let's say database column, and then we can place in the captured group. That way we know what we're querying. And then we can say value using SQL, and we can drag it and drop it here. Once we have all of these steps, it should be working fine. So let's test it out. We'll go back to Slack and let's type in score. We see that our query bot responds whenever we type in a keyword that we've specified, and it queries our database using that information and returns a result. And that's pretty much it for this one. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please let us know and we'll get back to you. Until next time.